PHNX live on a Tuesday. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Bo Brack. This is your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast, the PHNX Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star banner day here on a Tuesday. Everybody go over to gophnx.com. Become a diehard ASAP. You are not going to want to miss what we've got going on. 20% off merchandise locker, free hat and or t-shirt every single year you sign up. More on that later, as we've got quite the offer coming down the pipeline at our friends with Gila River. But Bo Brack, as we await the great Brian Baldinger, how are you on this Tuesday? Not a lot to talk about, it looks like.
What? Yeah, that's not true. We got Baldy come on, and he's going to preview what we believe to be Kyler Murray's debut for the 2023 season. He's now officially activated. They sent out a press release just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. I was on the phone with you, and I said, holy shit. They actually activated Kyler Murray. This is becoming realer and realer and realer as we near week 10 against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
And the Arizona Cardinals, the days of having, poor undermanned quarterback play could be behind them.
Yeah. It's very feels very real now. Like the first step obviously was putting him on the practice field a couple of weeks ago, right? But then that got stretched out to almost the exact date in which they couldn't do it any longer, which is tomorrow. I don't know why they picked today over yesterday, but, to each their own. Jonathan Gannon and company, we're going to talk about Drew Petzing, and we'll hear from him later in the show. He's pretty adamant, I'm not willing to commit to everything just yet.
Right.
I'm willing to commit right now. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a big day on Sunday against the team that just got carved up by Joshua Dobbs and Will Levis, respectfully, in back-to-back weeks. The more you get out of what happened in Cleveland and the more you get closer to this weekend in Glendale, you can kind of rationalize, okay, maybe James Conner coming back, full complement of receivers. Hopefully everything's good on the offensive line. Kyler Murray is set up this weekend, assuming that everybody can support him and he can take that first necessary step onto the field to have a big game. And I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically barring the week of practice, just a regularly scheduled practice week for a quarterback, and if he navigates that like he should without any kind of setbacks, he'll be in uniform, he'll be coming out of the tunnel, he'll be under center for the first time in a long time. And obviously this defense or this offense, according to Drew Petzing, will be set and tailored to Kyler Murray's skill set, and we'll be interested to kind of see how Drew Petzing taps into that. And we'll absolutely ask our guy Brian Baldinger, who can really kind of lay it out to layman out there as far as how they're going to maximize that skill set of Kyler Murray, because it's exciting. As much as the solid performances that they did receive from Joshua Dobbs for that 3-week span, we didn't see anything that resembled what Kyler Murray can do any given week in an NFL football game. I mean, if you've forgotten, look back at some of his stat lines, look back at some of his highlight reels. He does things that Joshua Dobbs, unfortunately, Clayton Tune, unlikely in his career, will be able to do. So that's one of the things that he brings to the table this Sunday for the Cardinals at starting quarterback.
It gives you hope each and every Sunday where you watch this team and you feel like they've got an opportunity to win. Like we talked about it yesterday. Every time, even during the Cliff Kingsbury era, they played an opposing team. It's like, well, Kyler Murray could be the best quarterback in this game after 4 quarters today. Like very rarely did it feel like, even you're facing Russell Wilson in his prime and Stafford during the Super Bowl year. It's like Kyler Murray can outduel these quarterbacks with what felt like and was proven right, inferior coach in a lot of instances. So, now this is the first time that we're going to see an organization 100% behind their franchise quarterback, albeit for 8 games and hopefully a lot longer. But I mean, it's a testament to how hard he's worked, his buy-in. He could have easily said, you know what, these aren't my people. They've embarrassed me in the past. Things didn't end well. Trade me. I want to get out of here. He's taking the opposite approach. I want to come back as soon as I can to help this team win. I'm committed to winning with the Arizona Cardinal football franchise. Like I remember we did our show when he got his extension. It was a celebratory day because it represented hopefully sustained, prolonged success. Can we have that success again starting this Sunday? We're going to ask our guy. He joins us now every single Tuesday, the All-City NFL analyst, Baldy, Brian Baldinger, with Baldy's breakdowns here on a football Tuesday. Baldy, perfect opportunity to join us today. Kyler Murray back activated for the Arizona Cardinals. your initial reactions ahead of Atlanta this weekend?
Well, I mean, I think it'll be good to get, their starting quarterback back. I don't know how he's going to look in his new offense and the timing he's going to have, all those kind of things. You have to kind of give him a little bit of time here to get acclimated to the speed of the game. I mean, that's the big thing is he hasn't thrown a football since last year, in a real game. And so the speed is different. And Atlanta's coming off a tough loss. They had plenty of chances to win last week, but they're a very good defense. I mean, up until 2 weeks ago, they were top 10 defense, and they've got good players everywhere. And so, it's a good test. But I mean, I think for Kyler right now, I don't know, like it's not, this regime, Monty and, Jonathan, they didn't draft him. It's not their guy, but he can be their guy. I think this is, in some ways, it might be, an 8-game audition for the future. And I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. But, if I was Kyler, I'd go out there and ball out, show them that I'm healthy, that I haven't lost a step, and see if they can win some games.
Sam Howell, Will Levis, who you compared very lightly to John Elway. I mean, as far as the arm strength, right? And then, of course, Joshua Dobbs, his miraculous performance on Sunday with really no prep time against this Atlanta Falcons defense. But those are the three quarterbacks that have handed this Falcons team their last 3 losses. How can Kyler Murray tap into where those quarterbacks were successful? Because none of them are world beaters by any stretch. And Kyler Murray, probably the most talented quarterback that Atlanta is going to have faced here recently.
Well, they've had a hard time with quarterbacks that can move right now. And so, basically Will Levis beat him with the deep ball. They got over the top of him. Last week, Josh, as you saw for the first 8 games, like he's a lot more athletic than anybody thinks he is. I mean, he was the leading rusher in the game, and that included Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, everybody. I mean, he had 66 yards rushing, and most of them were scrambles, although, he had the big touchdown run off a scramble, brought him from behind. It didn't start off well for him, but he overcame some early mistakes. If I'm Kyler right now, I'm looking at all that going, okay, I know I'm faster than Josh Dobbs. Look what he just did. So if I have to pull it down and run away from, Landman, the inside linebackers there in Atlanta, like I'm pretty confident I could do that. So I think there'll be certain things that Kyler, when he looks at this film this week, can certainly glean from what you just said about, Atlanta's recent opponents.
You talk about Dobbs, and obviously what he did last week was pretty unbelievable. I mean, and it's becoming a staple of his game here in the NFL's reputation, I should say. He came to Arizona short time frame, was immediately competent, if not more so, in just a few starts, and then what he does with Minnesota. And then in turn, Baldy, the Cardinals start a rookie 5th rounder against the league's top defense. Like, what do you make of it, 5,000-foot view of how the Cardinals handled last weekend? Because it is a little baffling. It's like you've got Dobbs, familiarity with Cleveland. Why not let him finish, handing the baton over to Kyler Murray? Was it just the prospect of a 6th and 7th round pick, or do you think more went into that kind of behind the scenes as it relates to Clayton Tune?
Well, I can't imagine anything behind the scenes saying, this isn't our type of guy, it's not our character. Like, I mean, right. None of that. But when teams give away players for assets, late round draft picks, all those guys that you're going to end up drafting are hit or miss. I mean, every once in a while, 6th round, you find a Jason Kelce, a Tom Brady. I mean, but it's a low percentage. I just don't understand the move at all, to be honest with you. Like, I understand Kyler's coming back and he's the guy and we want to play him, but, Kyler's shown you that, staying healthy has been an issue and he's missed games and who knows what he's going to look like. I'd like to have a guy that is good in the quarterback room, good in preparation, it mingles with the whole team. I mean, you saw how he was greeted in Minnesota after that comeback win. I mean, they were revering him. I'm hearing right now that Josh Dobbs' jersey, they can't even print them fast enough right now. Like they're flying off the shelves. I mean, it's one game, but still, like it's a magnetic thing. I didn't understand Monty doing that move. Like I can't see how it benefits anybody losing a guy like that.
Is it doing right by the player? Does that exist in the NFL, or is that too romantic to think about?
Yeah, like there's some of that stuff happens. Hey, we're going to ship you out, give you a better opportunity to play. I'm sure when Kwesi called in Minnesota and said, hey, we need a quarterback bad. We just lost ours. We're kind of like turning this thing around. Is Josh available? I mean, you've got Minnesota over, you got him over the woodshed here. Like you should be, if you're going to make the deal, make the deal. Like he should command. He just started 8 games and he proved that he can play. I don't know. I felt like, here, take him. We've got our starting quarterback. Yet,
right.
How many backup quarterbacks are starting right now in this league?
Well, the most baffling part is, your alternative, if Kyler goes down, like you pointed out, has the previous 2 seasons, not significant injury, but, an ankle, a hamstring that took him off the playing field. Yeah. Now your alternative isn't Dobbs. It's what you witnessed on Sunday, which was historically bad in Clayton Tune.
And it was bad. The first interception, it just sailed right into Denzel Ward's arms. You never saw in the second one, you never saw Sione Taki. That can happen to any young player. Never saw the underneath defender. Balls are going to get stripped out of your hands when you're playing Cleveland. Look, I've been saying this now because I was in Baltimore last week against Seattle, and it's almost like the NFC is a group of frauds because they play these AFC defenses right now in Cleveland, in Baltimore, in Cincinnati, with the Jets. Miami is like, and these teams in Kansas City especially, like nobody can score against these defenses, and everybody looks bad against them. Baltimore just wiped up Detroit and Seattle, at home in back-to-back games there, and it wasn't even competitive. They're so much better. And so, I don't know, like, it's you go against Cleveland, as we just saw, like, shutouts don't happen very often in this NFL, but I'm not sure Arizona could have scored if they had, 10 more chances.
No, I don't think so. What I do think is we've talked about Caleb Williams on this podcast over the course of this year in the training camp and pregame or preseason, whatnot. And it really hasn't felt real because we just were awaiting Kyler Murray's return. Well, Kyler Murray's return is here, but the Cardinals are also 8 games away from Caleb Williams, at least as it stands right now. They have the first pick in the draft. Is it as cut and dry for you, Baldy, as they get the first pick, you really have to consider him? Or could Kyler Murray, even without winning games, prove to this front office that he's worth keeping at $52 million? Because for me, it's like you have to go out and force the Cardinals' hand with wins to push them out of a position to take Caleb Williams or even a Drake May. Because as much as the Cardinals wanted to work with K1, the faux problem actually is relatively simple to understand. It's just, you just got to win to push yourself out of that aspect.
Well, there's also just the financial aspect. How many teams, including the Ravens and the Seahawks, and we go on the first time the Chiefs won, they won with rookie, quarterbacks on rookie contracts. It's just a financial component to it.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to rebuild this thing, and it's a rebuild. It's not like, okay, we're going to, go hit free agency and get competitive next year. It's a rebuild. Mm-hmm. And you want to build the right way. You want to do it through the draft. Paris Johnson, like do it, Stills, like you just want to get young guys in here and develop them. That's just the best method. And so you just don't want to have to overpay in free agency. It's just, there's times to go hit free agency, but if you get a chance, like I've watched Caleb Williams a lot. I know him pretty good. I've worked with him. The comparisons to Mahomes are going to be real. They're just going to be real. Like they're already doing it during games, in games. Like this is the release. This is him, escaping the pocket. And I remember talking to Patrick. Lee Steinberger is his agent. And I remember seeing him in Houston at the Super Bowl the year that he was eligible. And I talked to him because I'd done a bunch of Texas Tech games. And the situation is so similar. Like they just fired USC's defensive coordinator. Well, they did that same thing with Mahomes. He was at Texas Tech. They fired the defense coordinator. And he had to score 50 for the Red Raiders to have a chance to win. And It's like that with Caleb. They score 50. They still can't win. So then you just start playing hero ball. And you're just like, well, I'll do whatever I can to put up 50 spot to give us a chance. It's kind of like that. And I feel like when people – and so I heard everybody detract from Mahomes. Oh, he's got to fix these. Well, okay. Well, sometimes this is the way you got to play the game right now. Sometimes you got to play it just loose and wild and free. And Caleb can do it. So that's off the subject. it's a hard decision. If Kyler comes out and balls out and he looks great like he did 2 years ago, it might be a tough decision. But I also think if you're trying to rebuild right now and you have a chance to get Caleb Williams, who I still like, it's early, but I believe he's going to be the first pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to say no to Caleb Williams. It's just going to be hard, regardless of what Kyler does.
When we talk about Kyler Murray 2 years ago, and that's where, everybody points to, especially the start to that season, 2021 through 7-8 games, he's at an MVP caliber level. What he was really doing in that season, where he excelled, was in the deep ball. And then last year, where we saw him struggle probably the most he had in his professional career, the deep ball wasn't there. How can Kyler Murray get back on track in that facet of his game?
Well, it'd be good if you had, a healthy, younger DeAndre Hopkins out there to throw it to. I mean, it seemed like a lot of those deep balls are going to him.
Levis had an old D-Hop that worked out pretty well for him on the deep ball.
Yes, he did. But, you need guys. Look, Hollywood is a deep ball threat.
Yeah.
But, when you're his size, it's just harder. Just harder to hit a moving target at that size versus a guy that can really move. They had great speed at wide receiver that year. And so, you're able to hit on a bunch of those shots. That's what he did, with Hollywood at Oklahoma. So, I mean, they're reunited. You got to take your shots in this business. Otherwise, you're not really aggressive enough to win. You've got to, flip the field. You've got to get your defensive pass and holding calls and defensive interference penalties. You got to get those. And you got to you got to take your shots to get your shots. It's just too hard to sustain offense in this business, just nickel and diming down the field.
Would you be cautious running Kyler Murray at any extent this weekend? Because I think everybody's going to hold their collective breath just waiting for him to take off. But that's a facet of his game that you agreed to and you rewarded with this extension. Like, his mobility piece still has to exist in some way, shape, or form, does it not?
Well, totally, Johnny. But you can't legislate against injuries. You don't like you're cleared, you're healthy to play. He needs to get hit. Because honestly, he needs that for his own confidence to get hit, get up off the ground going, okay, I'm back. Because you can go through all the rehab you want. For anybody that had the ACL injury, when you return to action, you're a little bit nervous. You just are. Like, it's a new knee. It feels different. But you guys got to know that it's stable and it's going to hold up and can do its job. And so he needs to get hit. Would I overdo it? I don't think I would overdo it, but you certainly got to use him in the run game and make him defend everybody. If you don't play that style of football, then you're not playing to his strengths.
We talk about Hollywood Brown. We've seen a little bit of Rondale more in the run game than in the passing game as he's moved a little bit more into the slot. Like, whose game elevates with the return of Kyler Murray? It looks like Michael Wilson's going to come back from a shoulder injury. You got Trey McBride, who emerged a week before the Browns game with a 95-yard performance. Who do you think this Kyler Murray's return elevates?
Well, look, I think one of their signature wins that they've had, prior to last year was that game against the Rams when they ran for 250 yards. Chase Edmonds, Kyler, they like the running game. They all benefited. Because somebody is, who you're playing assignment football. Who's got the quarterback? Who's got the back? Who's got the motions and all the stuff that happens with the window dressing? I think the running game benefits immediately. And when the running game gets going, you're going to pay it off. You're going to pay the run game off with your play action passes. Mm-hmm. And so any of those guys, Wilson, McBride, Hollywood, like Rondale, like, any of those guys could benefit if the play action pass really works once the running game gets cooking.
There's such a disparity in talent at the quarterback position from the AFC to the NFC. I mean, it's almost laughable that most of the young franchise quarterbacks in the NFL reside in the AFC, save for like a Jalen Hurts. Do you feel like the Cardinals internally feel like or believe we can get Kyler Murray going again and we can get him right? This is a conference that's there to be had. This is a division that could potentially be there to be had because, I mean, by the time you take a Drake May or a Caleb Williams and you develop said player, it could take 3 to 5 years again. You've already got a fan base that's endured multiple losing seasons. Like, I do think there is something to be said, Baldy. You get him right during these last 8 games. You go into next year, I get it. You're still reconstructing this roster. But, tell me who's a better quarterback definitively. If they get Kyler Murray back to where he was in the NFC right now?
Well, I mean, look, there's Dak and Dallas. He had a great game the other day.
Sure.
They didn't finish the job. Stafford's won a Super Bowl. Look, there is a disparity, but it's way more than the quarterback. I mean, one thing Jonathan Gannon knows, like, he left Philadelphia. That's a stable organization.
Yeah.
Like, they're built on winning. They win every year. So look, they had the 4-11-1 season when the quarterback, Carson Wentz, went sideways, and they turned the reins over to Jail. And they basically said, as an organization, we're never going to be 4-11-1 again, ever.
Yeah.
And I don't think they will be. And so you want to build sustained excellence. So that's a culture. That's the type of player you bring in. That's the building. That's the expectations. That's what Jonathan is trying to build. Like, it'd be good to win some games and upset some people and all that. But ultimately, like, you're just trying to figure out which players are here long term. Like, they've had a ton of coaching changes in Philly going back to Andy Reid. But, like, Kelsey's there, and Brandon Graham's there, and Fletcher Cox is there, and Lane Johnson is there. Like, they've had stability with their leaders on that team for over a decade. That's what you're trying to build. You're trying to, like, build pillars within your team that when you get free agents come in or rookies coming in or you made this trade, like, they're greeted by guys that know what this whole thing is about. And they help sustain that excellence. And that's what you need to find right now.
I'm scrolling the gram and I see the ALLCITY_NFL just promotion. There's a video there. It kind of breaks my heart, Baldy. We watched it happen in live as far as the CJ Stroud experience where he came back in that game. You guys are breaking it down. You and the coach, Anthony Gargano, on the ALLCITY NFL podcast, All NFL. We thought that this pick that Monty Ossenfort got for Will Anderson trading down in the draft was going to be a premium one this season, and it just gets lower and lower. How many games is this Texans team going to win? Because you guys were breaking down where CJ Stroud throws Tank Dell just open on an unbelievable pass. I mean, how good is he and how good are the Texans? And break it to our Cardinals audience gently.
Well, I mean, look, the league has been around for 104 years. And in 104 years, no rookie quarterback ever did what CJ Stroud did last week. I don't care if it's Manning, pick a guy. That's that. That's perspective. He got the ball back down 37-33 with 46 seconds to go at the 25-yard line with 2 timeouts. And he took it down the field and hit Tank Dell for the game winner. 46-second drives. That's elite. But in addition, Nico Collins is their number 1 receiver. He leads the National Football League in yards per catch. The last 2 years, Nico Collins is just a guy. Like, nothing special. He's just on the roster. But nobody thinks anything about Nico Collins. Now he's a number 1. I mean, I've seen Noah Brown in Dallas. Like, he was an afterthought after their top 3 receivers. He's there. Like, he had 100 and something yards of receiving the other day. Tank Dell is a 3rd-round pick out of Houston. Played, for a good program in Houston with Dana there. But, like, he's an elite slot receiver right now. And, he got 2 touchdown passes the other day. The running game really hasn't kicked off yet. It's okay, but it's not great. It's not what we saw from Dameon Pierce a year ago. This is an accurate thrower, very accurate. And he sees the field well, and he's got an elite release. And I think the sky's the limit for what he can do.
It's a big time bummer holding that draft pick, but
it sucks. I'm so happy for them and their fan base, but I thought we'd be eating good in the top 10 with 2 top 10 picks, and that's just not going to happen this year. And
crazy what great quarterback play can do for an organization. What Baldy just outlined. If you want more insight like that, you have to subscribe. Check out what they're doing over at the All City NFL podcast. We had a couple of the episodes on our feed. We were honored to do that and introduce the audience to it. Now you got to seek it out for yourself wherever you find podcasts. Baldy, as always, great stuff.
Hey, Bo. Johnny, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Baldy. I can't wait. I can't wait to break down Murray's first start with our guy, Brian Baldinger. Because, there's no BS with Baldy. Like, he watches more film than anybody I know. He tells you what he sees and what he doesn't see. And, for this franchise and for this fan base, it's just like we got to be in a position where flexible, everything's on the table until Kyler Murray forces the issue one way or the other. And that starts this weekend. And I'm fired up to see it finally, Bo, come to fruition.
It was, I mean, what he outlined with CJ Stroud, and I'll say it again, it's what good quarterback play, how it elevates an entire roster. I mean, Tank Dell late, was he was a third day pick out of Houston, out of a, he was catching passes from Clayton Tune last season, right? And you have, Nico Collins and a guy and Noah Brown, who is a fringe roster type in Dallas, and those guys are all making big plays, and they don't have the benefit of a running game. They don't have the benefit of playing with leads. They're chasing leads. It feels like each and every Sunday. But when you get CJ Stroud the ball, he gives you a chance. And that's what going from a Dobbs, even off the heels of a miraculous performance and off the heels of whatever we witnessed on Sunday with Clayton Tune, it's so refreshing to see that, Kyler Murray's coming back on Sunday. They play quarterback for the Cardinals.
It reminds me, rookie year, Kyler Murray throwing to an older Larry Fitzgerald, Farrell Cooper, Demir Bird, and beating teams and putting up big numbers. You can put up big numbers in your bank account with our friends at BetMGM. Bet 10, get 200. We teased it for the last, 3 days? Guess what the Cardinal line is down to hosting the Atlanta Falcons? +1. It started +2.5, maybe +3 right after kickoff, Bo Brock. Cardinals now 1 point away from being a pick'em, a true one pick'em for the first time this year. You can't get plus money on this game anymore. But in the meantime, you want to dabble, sprinkle some free bets? Well, bet 10, get 200 with PHNX. All you got to do, download the app right now, betmgm.com, sign up with bonus code PHNX. You put in the PHNX code, you place a $10 wager, at least a $10 wager on whatever you want, $200 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager. So if you're thinking, I don't know if the Cardinals are going to win, well, regardless, you're going to get paid $200 plus whatever your additional winnings are. And again, no better time than to dabble with our friends at BetMGM. Thank you to everybody that came out to BetMGM Sportsbook at the Great Lawn last weekend. Unfortunately, had to take in that Cleveland Browns debacle, but we progress and move forward. Sign up with BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX10. Get you 200 instantly. Do it. Do it now. You can do it on your desktop, your mobile device. They've got a robust outlook on props, bets, spreads, whatever you want to do. They've got bonus bets. They've got boosters, free bets. Check it all out in the show notes for full details. Now listen to my guy Shane Diefenbach talk about it in the disclaimer.
Problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
I'm looking at tickets right now on the Game Time app. You can get yourself in the door for the debut of Kyler Murray for $15.
Oh my God.
I think you can get as low as $11. If you get 2 tickets for $11, $22, use the promo code PHNX, you get $20 off. I mean, you're basically watching Kyler Murray play football almost for free.
Yeah,
it's tough to beat what's going on with Game Time. And if you're a procrastinator like myself, you can hold out. You can hold out till game day, be out there tailgating, and then buy your tickets on this app. And you can see, I mean, we don't have to zoom in, but I mean, just unbelievable amount of tickets for really, really not relatively cheap prices, just straight up cheap prices. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. They're not going to kill you with any kind of extra charges on top of that. No fees. I mean, there are fees, but not just fees that are just going to completely overwhelm you. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account. Use that code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account. Redeem the code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed with Game Time.
I hooked up some seats for Lakers Suns for Friday night game.
Not $15.
Time.
Yeah.
Not $15. Smidge more expensive, but still far cheaper than anywhere else. I'm never using another ticketing app again. I love Game Time, as we've talked about on and off air, like parking passes, just a bunch of cool, convenient shit that like you can't get anywhere else. It's truly your one-stop shop for ticketing, Bo.
Cool little news and notes here for PHNX Cardinals. And you may have seen our guy, Britton Golden, today join us on the All Purpose Podcast with Greg Dortch. Great and tremendous insight from two guys, very similar, just career paths. and Britton Golden. But we see, Ian Rappaport tweet out Martavius Bryant is going to sign with the Dallas Cowboys. Cool little fun fact about one of your favorite podcasts here and one of its hosts. Britton Golden got Martavius Bryant back in the NFL, basically. Just a tip of the cap, absolutely a full-on clap, not just golf clap for Britton Golden and the work he put in. A very talented receiver that was one of the league's best up-and-coming wideouts before he ran into the old NFL, drug policy that is now old and gone, and he's reinstated and ready to play again thanks to our guy BG.
Do you think if I continued to rub elbows with Britton that I could maybe make a practice squad, or is that not in my future?
He's not a miracle worker. I mean,
maybe equipment manager. Maybe I can wash off the balls on the sideline. We're going to give out 2 PHNX t-shirts. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this, just so we don't get too far from in BG putting this all in a position for to do some cool shit.
He's elite.
Did you see Saul Bookman think, our GM, that he can catch a punt, that he can catch an NFL punt?
No comment. I'm not going to comment on. I can't touch
I think
that.
he said out of 10, he could catch half of them.
Oh my God.
It's pretty bold.
Saul was a Division I athlete, but we're all old as hell now. Like when it goes quick. We're going to dabble with a bunch of this stuff this offseason, like Combine-S type of things. And I might end up in a stretcher, and Saul might join Kyler Murray and his surgeon with a torn ACL, because that could be troubling. A professional punter, he could catch 5 out of 10. Is that what he said?
Yeah,
that's a mistake. I disagree with that. Okay, here's what I don't disagree with. So we got super chats I want to get to. We're going to talk about practice today. Quick plug. The end of the show today, we're giving out not 1 but 2 PHNX t-shirts for free. We're going to do 2 trivia questions. We're going to do this each of the next couple of days on the show. It's appointment viewing, additionally to the great content you've come to expect from this podcast. You win the t-shirt today. Pick it up this Sunday at Gila River. More information to come, but t-shirt giveaways, stick around for that. I'm sticking around for the super chats. Ben Cork, $5. Can we take a second to appreciate how accurate Jobo has been with the coverage of this team? Thank you so much, Ben Cork. News versus rumors have been on point. Season starts now. We appreciate that, Ben. And when we put stuff out there, we're not just trying to throw stuff at the wall. I mean, we've got some information. We got some people that we trust that are close to the team. And, it's always our job to be responsible with the news and information we give. Are we going to bat 1,000? No. Have we batted 1,000? No. But I feel like we feel like we do a pretty good job of reading the temperature of the room. And even with the way, Bo, we choose to tackle subjects or how we phrase things, most of the time that's coming from people close to the team. So it's not like, my Isaiah Simmons take once upon a time. Like, fair or not, that was coming from people who were close to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
How he felt about football and kind of his ego, and like things transpire because of it. So again, we appreciate that, Ben, because it's not lost on us. We do try to work hard and do our best to give the insight that you guys look for.
Yeah, big thanks to Ben for pointing that out. It's not Johnny just waking up and going, let's just but not too bad for a couple fanboys. Thank you, Ben. Who else is out here in the super chat?
Alex, our guy, $4.99. Bo, Deshaun Watson had an amazing year on a really bad team in 2020 before his allegations, so it can really happen.
Yeah, for when Houston Texans team, he led the league in passing yards with like 4,800. It was I think that was his first year without D-Hop, and he was able to spread the football around it and prove that he was a top quarterback at the time. I mean, he certainly fallen on harder times, at least on the field. We saw one of his better performances, and I still wasn't that impressed by Deshaun Watson on Sunday. He made one like really, really impressive throw downfield, dropped it in a bucket, but outside of that, there was a lot of rock skipping going out there from good old Deshaun Watson. But no, it's a great point from Alex. I mean, that's what Kyler Murray could do if he can get this team to about 4 wins. I think he puts himself in a position to be more comfortable going in the offseason.
Chaz, $4.99. Thank you so much. We may finally win a coin toss at least. I haven't been keeping track. Have they been losing a lot of coin toss on Sunday? I know they've been losing a lot of games, but I haven't been. I think it's because we wrap the pregame show so close to kickoff. Like I don't think I ever see a coin toss, Bo.
Yeah, I'm usually running from joining you guys on the pregame to to get my seat in the press box, and they're usually lining up. Greg Dortch is ready to receive the opening kick.
Yeah. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff happening in Tempe today, Bo Brock, as we buried the lead to some degree. Kyler Murray officially activated via a press release by the Arizona Cardinals today, in line to start this weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's talk expectations, because my expectations
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, that's why. That's why. That's absolutely why. I haven't won a coin toss all year. My expectation is he's going to come out and play well. Again, this is an Atlanta defense that's very vulnerable right now. I mean, how could they not be? They were leading that game handedly, and they got carved up by Joshua Dobbs. I think this is an Atlanta team going nowhere fast. Where, like, you had a chance to connect with Drew Petzing today. There's pressure on the Cardinals. Like, put their record aside for a second. This is such an anomaly, unprecedented, where everybody thinks you're terrible. Everybody thinks you're tanking. You welcome back a $250 million quarterback. You're potentially favored at home now. I mean, talk us through like Petzing's mindset today, because I feel like almost as much as Kyler Murray, Petzing's got some eyeballs and some heat on him this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said in the chat, and I think I buy into it an extent, as far as Drew Petzing, the pressure is on now. And I think the pressure is ratcheted up, not to where, hey, there's going to be jobs on the line, but there's going to be, I guess, renewed perceptions of this coaching staff, the key coordinators here is your offensive, your defensive, and of course your head coach and Jonathan Gannon. I think that now, people are going to start actually giving them true grades, where that wasn't necessarily true the first, 9 weeks of the season. So yeah, it ratchets it up a little bit. And Drew Petzing playing, a little Jonathan Gannon, coy, a little dog and pony show a little bit. I think I had the first question today in the press room about Kyler Murray, and if Drew was excited since taking this job. I'm sure he's awaited game planning for Kyler Murray, and he was like, we'll see if we get there, if he's the guy. And he's like, come on, we don't need to qualify that any longer.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it's just going to be a standard week of practice, and if Kyler Murray survives that, which he should, he's going to be the starter on Sunday. He's already the QB1 on the Cardinals official depth chart. So, they're continuing to do that for whatever reason. They hold on to the smoke screen, which is all fine. But I think that, he followed up with, anytime he's a complete quarterback. He's a guy you can do a lot of things with. And Drew Petzing, when he was asked as far as would there be any kind of hesitation as far as running him, there's not. Because as far as Kyler Murray goes now, he's got a clean bill of health physically. So he should be able to do all the things that we're used to seeing Kyler Murray do, all the things that we saw Joshua Dobbs run in this offense that were built on QB design runs and explosive runs. They expect to have that in the playbook with Kyler Murray. So they're not going to pull out or create any stops, I should say, with Kyler Murray running this offense. Like the hesitation that they would have is nothing more than any hesitation you would have with any quarterback on any given play that gets put in harm's way or gets tackled, and it happens. It's inevitable in the NFL. Your quarterback's going to get hit, and you just naturally, gasp for air, and then realize once he's okay, you breathe again.
I'm going to be gasping that first possession.
Yeah.
I don't know about a lot of you guys. Like, it's going to be surreal seeing him run out of that tunnel if you're at State Farm Stadium, watching him, because it's been so long since I've watched him play football, and like, you never take it for granted. But at the same time, it's like we've watched how many now quarterbacks take snaps under center for this franchise, losing almost every start in the process, 1-12. But yeah, I'll be gasping if Calais Campbell, Cardinal on Cardinal crime, comes after Kyler Murray. That'd be really unfortunate. But it's like I said yesterday, like Kyler Murray is going to elevate the play of everybody else, but the offensive line needs to make sure, like, this is our investment. In respect to Clayton Tune and Joshua Dobbs, like, no 6-7 sack performances again, please. Like, we have to do better. Like, even if it's Kelvin Beachum playing left tackle, not DJ Humphries, like Kelvin Beachum was in line to start for this team if Paris Johnson Jr. wasn't drafted, 6 overall. Like Kelvin Beachum came here thinking he was going to start. He was on a 2-year deal. They traded away Josh Jones for pennies on the dollar to Houston, coincidentally, so that Kelvin Beachum could have an opportunity to step in if necessary. That's the belief that they had in him. So, Will Hernandez is a different story. The guard situation is troublesome, but the tackles need to be better. Like Paris Johnson Jr. had a rough game against Cleveland. And if Kelvin Beachum plays and practices all week, like we need to see competent tackle play because, I think like they've done a nice job setting Kyler Murray up for success by waiting this long. It just is kind of a sucky coincidence now that you're down a couple linemen. But as Baldy said, as you attested to, like, there are playmakers on this team, if he can get them the football, that can produce points for them. Trey McBride is the best receiving tight end, in my opinion, that they've had in a long time. I'm so excited to see what he can do, finally unleashed with rhythm targets. Hollywood Brown, well, he's not a true number one. Certainly he's got a rapport with Kyler Murray. And then Michael Wilson has kind of been asleep through no fault of his own. He was injured last week, and then he hasn't been targeted because of Joshua Dobbs. Like, it's time to unleash number 14 again. So I'm bullish about this receiving core with Kyler Murray. Can he have enough time to deliver the football? That's the real question at hand.
Yeah, that's going to be a big question. And that's unfortunately been a big question throughout his career, right? And but Kyler Murray possesses the ability to throw into tight windows, and we'll see right out of the gates if that's something that's possible. Is the accuracy going to be there? Just from day one, restarting K1. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I see a lot of comments as far as there's a lot of trolls out there. Let's continue to let's have fun today. I mean, this is an exciting moment for the Cardinals fan base, and I don't want anybody's hanging out here trying to celebrate that have their time kind of dampened by people just trolling in the chat. So if that's happening, let's knock it off and continue to have good conversation here about the Cardinals and their quarterback situation.
I'm having fun with this super chat from my guy Jesus $4.99. Thank you so much, Jesus. I was going to say Kyler can make any receiver look good or look great, but Bo is 0 for 1. Just kidding. Excited to see K1. That's the kind of content I'm here for. Slap that on a t-shirt. Okay. Hell yes. Thank you so much, Jesus. We appreciate you. You'll get a chance. You'll get a chance.
You're dead to me, Jesus. Thank you for your super chat. What do we got? What else we have?
AZ Moses, 89, friend of the program, $2. Oh, happy day. K1 is officially back. QB1. He is QB1 on the depth chart. Thank you so much, AZ Moses. No dicking around with the depth chart this week. It's like, hey, we're back. It's Kyler Murray this week. It's not Kyler Murray. Remember they doing the and thing? It was Colt McCoy and Clayton Tune. Like, I almost thought they might try to pull that BS this week, Kyler Murray and Clayton Tune. It's like, in no world is Kyler Murray and to anything called Clayton Tune, respectfully. So the charade is like we're 24 hours away from the charade really being dead and buried. Like, I love Jonathan Gannon. I love Drew Petzing. I think they've got some good stuff going on. The charade at press conferences, will they or won't they? Kyler Murray is playing this weekend, and they're going to start him for the rest of the year. Can we focus on other things? Like, I love Kyler Murray. I'm excited to see him play. I want to talk about other players, right? I want to talk about complementary players to Kyler Murray and what they can do. I don't want to talk about a quarterback controversy that's non-existent.
Right. Yeah. We don't have to create just like a fake storyline for the sake of competitive advantage that's not even really there. It's just like the true extent of that competitive advantage is minuscule as you possibly could get. Like it's not even like reaching Arthur Smith's desk in Flowery Branch, Georgia any longer. Like when you heard that Arthur Smith was up at 3:45 shaving his mustache, which is apparently a story. He wasn't up because Clayton Tune was keeping him up, or who's starting at quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe it was K1. Maybe Kyler Murray's
the only reason he would have been up because of Clayton Tune is that performance gave me nightmares. I haven't been able to sleep all week. That's this roster, folks. Like, they finally got their quarterback in place, and I think they're going to play 500 football the rest of the year. I really do. I think it's going to be somewhere between 3 to 5 wins over the next 8 games. And I think people are going to feel really good about GM, head coach, quarterback come January. No chance Gannon's fired.
I think it's interesting. You jokingly were giving your Kyler Murray stat line for the Atlanta Falcons game, but I thought Drew Petzing had an interesting answer when he was asked about the expectations for Kyler Murray this season. This is what the Cardinals offensive coordinator had to say. Producer Damon.
Anytime you do something the first time you've done it in a while, it's hard, especially being in a new system, new teammates. It's week, week 10, and you're coming off an injury. I think and I always look at it, and I kind of compared it last week. Look at what an offense looks like their first 10 plays in preseason 1, week 1, week 5, week 10. It's no different with an individual player. So there's going to be some growth. There's going to be some bumps along the road. I know he's ready to handle that. Certainly, we're prepared to handle that. But that's reality when you're doing something for the first time.
So there's a bit of tempering expectations there from Drew Petzing, but I don't think he's outlining like, hey, we're not going to be able to operate an offense. Like that's the anticipation. Like operationally, he wants to see him be sound, and it needs to be sound. No more like if it resembles anything like it was Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. Remember how many times they had to burn a timeout because they were facing a delay game. Like when was the last time have we seen a delay a game this season under Petzing and when Dobbs was running quarterback? Even with Clayton Tune, it didn't seem like it was close.
No, I mean, their penalties are down. Certainly their pre-snap penalties are down. I couldn't pay attention to anything Drew Petzing said. That man has not slept in what looks like 72 hours. The bag's under that poor man's eyes. Somebody called him Dr. Evil in the chat. I'm not willing to go that far. That dude knows he's got to conjure up a menacing game plan. The Falcons are ass defensively. I know like they've got some faux statistics because they've been playing Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield and Bryce Young. Like it's a team primed to have 30 hung up on them at State Farm Stadium this week. And if it's an indictment on him and him alone, if Kyler Murray doesn't ball out, I know Kyler's got his own set of circumstances he's got to live up to, but that man right there, he's public enemy number one. If we're talking about it on the post-game show and they're under 20 points again, like you can't have that happen. I'm sorry. Like this, as Baldy mentioned, like other teams are doing more with far less. I like the Cardinals receiving core. James Conner, we're going to talk about, potentially could be back. Somebody let that man get like a 6-hour power nap in, and then it's back to work, Drew.
Dr. Evil, is that what they said?
Yes.
Kyler Murray will throw for 1 million yards.
Oh my God. Now I legitimately want to quit the show. Now everybody who's trolling in the chat, you're giving them credence. We're going to talk more about this. And then we're going to give away some free stuff. Why are we going to give away free stuff? Because we love all of you. I want to see everybody here who's in the Valley this weekend at Gila River Resort's Wild Horse Pass to come hang out. Myself, Britton Golden, Saul Bookman, Damon Dog, a ton of PHNX Cardinal and PHNX personalities. Wild Horse Pass, Gila River, this Sunday, the Kyler Murray watch party. If you're not going to the game, if you're going to the game, awesome. Like my co-hosts here, go and support this team. We need your support at State Farm Stadium. If you have any other plans, I promise you will not find a better time. Gila River Resorts at Wild Horse Pass this weekend. We're going to be doing giveaways, signed Kyler Murray football, signed Kyler Murray helmet. You are only eligible if you are there hanging out. Come hang out. It is free. There are tons of seating, awesome bar set up. There's TVs everywhere. That we've got a top golf simulator. There's the sports book, tremendous food. Their nachos are on point. Come hang out this weekend. Let's have a blast, hopefully renewing the energy with the Arizona Cardinal football franchise, because after Cleveland, good hell do we need it. In the meantime, check them out. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You play for free, Gila.com. Go to the sports book and just get one of those sweet, sweet paper tickets, man. I'm about that life. I'm about to do my favorite bet with my sweet baby K1 coming back, the Kyler Murray anytime touchdown. That was my favorite bet to make. And so I'm going to make that bet this weekend, hard copy. Who's with me? Come to Gila River this weekend. We're giving out T-shirts here in a little bit. Claim it this weekend and then win more prizes, Bo.
I think you can smell the paper. You can smell it, the ink freshly printed on your betting slip. It's tough to beat that, right? It's tough to beat that. Johnny's betting future is so bright, the man needs 2 or more pairs of Shady Rays sunglasses, and he's going to save a ton of money on those. 50% off with the promo code PHNX. It's gear built to last. Premium polarized shades, independent sunglasses company where the price point is well below $100. World-class product, just not expensive. It doesn't cost you for world-class prices. Shady Rays offers an insane protection and also protection plan. If you lose or you break your sunglasses, they're going to replace them, no questions asked. But here's what you got to do. You got to go either check out their shop up there in Kierland Commons, tell them the promo code PHNX, and they're going to give you 50% off 2 or more pairs of their great sunglasses. You can find them online as well, shadyrays.com, and also pop in that promo code there. Get the 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Find out for yourself why these shades are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. ShadyRays.com.
You absolutely love to see it in the chat. $10 super chat from our guy, Mervin. I'm not going to read the rest of that last name. $10. Thank you, Mervin. What is the over-under for Kyler Murray to throw for 500 yards, rush for 100, James Conner 100, and an anytime touchdown? I would say probably plus 10,000, something to that effect. Because I think Kyler Murray, the minute this game would get out of hand, you would find a way to get Clayton Tune back in this game. That's my opinion. Bo, do you have a take on that?
Yeah, it would be astronomical odds, no doubt about it. But if it does happen, I will change my screen name to Mervin's the end of his screen name. That
Bo,
yeah,
Bo Blank.
Yep. Bo Blank Nut. Yep.
Brian, he didn't almost have me. Come on now. I'm not Ron Burgundy here. I won't read just about anything. But thank you so much.
You have
Mervin.
done there is one moment in show history that you have. I can't remember
God, I forgot
verbatim,
about that.
but it was bad. They got you. It was the I'm Ron Burgundy with the question mark because it was in the teleprompter
from the internet. Thank goodness. I read somebody's super chat and it was a rough time for your boy. This is better because we're giving out some shirts. So over the course of the next 3 shows, today, tomorrow, Friday's game preview show, I will be scared. We are giving out merchandise to pick up at Gila River Wild Horse Pass Sunday on game day. Here's what you have to do to be eligible to win the merch right now in the chat. First person to answer correctly wins the gear to be picked up this weekend. Caveat is you got to pick it up in person. So respectfully, if you live in Des Moines, if you live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, we love you. We appreciate you. We will do giveaways this off season and ship stuff to you. But right now, this is exclusive to people in the Valley, or if you're like in Tucson or Maricopa, Casa Grande, you want to drive up to Gila River. Hell yeah. Let's take a picture. Let's get some gear. Plus, while you're there at Gila River Bowl this weekend, picking up your shirt, get a picture with Brayton Golden, and then be eligible to win the Kyler Murray football helmet. So come out. So even if you don't win, come out anyway. But we're going to start the trivia now. Everybody ramped up and ready to go. Trivia time, baby.
How are we doing this? So I think you need to, in the chat, chime in maybe just with a PHNX that you have the answer. Nobody should just be shouting out or typing in the answer, correct?
I have no idea how we're going to manage
you
this,
just haven't
honestly.
thought this through.
I didn't think this through. Here's the deal.
Because you're just going to have an onslaught of people answering. I
thought, Damon was going to be the facilitator, the admin for it.
Damon is the most intelligent person on this program.
He's very intelligent. If you're in Arizona, I trust that you will put the answer in. If you're not in Arizona, just holster it for the betterment of the podcast. I think that's the best way to go about it.
So you're asking the viewers, the people in the chat, to do what now? Just so we're clear.
You're not even listening to what I'm saying. Holster, if you're not in Arizona, holster your answers. If you're in Arizona, put your answers out. We will read whomever.
No, because we don't want the answers. Let's have people chime in. Just if they know the answer, just type PHNX because that's their buzzer.
Okay.
And then
I see. Gotcha.
Right. And then we will so we can do this. It's just not pure chaos, and it's just not people throwing in.
So if you know the answer, put in PHNX in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll call on you, and then you respond with the answer.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that what you're suggesting? Yeah. I'm asking you if this is.
Sounds like a great plan. It's going to be a disaster, but I'm here for it.
What's not going to be a disaster is our time at Gila River, but I want people to get their merch.
When you're there, I know he said Brayton Golden will take a picture with you, but request Johnny Venerable be in the picture as well.
I don't want to force myself to take a picture with people. If people want a picture, let's do
I'm forcing you into their picture.
Please, let's do it. It's like me creeping in with their family. Being a big time creep. All right, trivia question number 1. For free PHNX merch. Damon Dog. When was the last 300-yard passing game for the Arizona Cardinals? Put in PHNX in the chat if you know the answer to the question.
That you're like your Alex Trebek. That's your game show host voice. We got some
Cardinal.
We got
Charles
PHNX
71.
All right, let's see it.
Cardinal Charles 71. You are the first to buzz in. Give us your answer for this, please. If it's incorrect, we will continue to move on. Gannonite is in the hole. Gannonite is in the hole.
Michael Evans, 1928. Man, that was. It's been a minute.
It's been the hottest of hot minutes.
I mentioned
a lot of
this.
people
I think I mentioned this on the show this week. And my God, it's only Tuesday, so I must have said it yesterday.
You got 1 second, Charles. I think Charles is out. I miss Charles. Gannonite.
That's what we want to avoid. If you're Googling, we're going to weed you out.
Gannonite, you're up next. Gannonite, you've got your response holstered. Oh, here it is. Charles is in there. Charles is in. Cardinals versus Vikings 2022. Damon Dog, what's the answer? Ba-ba-ba-bum. There it is. Kyler Murray threw for 300 yards last October 30th against the Minnesota Vikings. Big gainer by Rondale Moore for the touchdown. Big game from K1. Let down by his defense. Kyler Murray. So congratulations to our friend of the program, Cardinal Charles 71. Come get your free t-shirt this weekend at Gila River. Reach out to me, DM me on Twitter, or check us out. If you're not on Twitter, send us a message. Damon, can you facilitate that off air? I'm not even sure if that's possible. I'm just putting on responsibility to you. I apologize. Let's get to question number 2.
Let's have Cardinal Charles hit us up on social media if he has anything, right? So
okay, what if he doesn't have social? I'm hoping he has social.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2 for some more merch.
You know what? Yeah. Question number 2. So chime in with PHNX, and then we'll see who can Google the fastest here in the crew. Because I know, Charles, that's what you were doing. But it's all right. You're a big fat winner regardless. Open book test. No doubt about it. All right, let's see the last trivia question of the afternoon for the second PHNX swag. Trivia question number 2. Who is the last 1,000-yard rusher for the Arizona Cardinals? All right. As everybody loads up, who's going to jump in the chat? Who's bold enough to put a PHNX in there right now and answer this right off the bat?
You got to have your answer holstered and ready to go right away.
See. Is Dirt Bike Boy? Is he in there?
I think it was Jesus. I think Jesus was number 1.
I actually don't answer Jesus any longer after his.
Jesus, get your response in there so we can give you a T-shirt. Make fun of Bo this weekend. Jesus, got a response?
He says Beanie Wells. I believe that's his official answer.
That is incorrect. No. Next up, Dirt Bike Boy 714. Dirt Bike Boy 714 on his dirt bike. Can he get the right response here?
Dirt Bike Boy seems like a screen name that you would have had back in the day, like maybe on AOL.
Cool Daddy Messenger. John is mine now. Dirt Bike Boy 714. He puts in David Johnson. Let's see if that's correct. Damon Dog?
2016, David Johnson. Wasn't it? Did he get 2K? Was he over 2K from scrimmage? I believe he was. 1,239 yards on the ground. Also nearly had 1,000 yards receiving that season, but he was over 2K from scrimmage. 20 total tutties that season for David Johnson. He was the elite fantasy football player, and then he was really never heard of ever again. He got a big fat extension, and then he was in the deal for D-Hop after that.
Thank you guys for participation. Reach out. We're going to get you set up with your sizes. Come out. As Charles basically outing himself, saying
I respect the honesty.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, I didn't say you couldn't Google.
Right.
It's just who's the fastest? Who's the fat? Tomorrow we'll put some staple. You got to respond within the first 10 seconds or you're
disqualified. We're good.
Bo doesn't want to put parameters on this. The next 2 days for the show,
we're giving Wild West out here. You were just going to throw trivia questions out there and just have an onslaught of answers.
I didn't think this through, but I'm excited.
Agreed, Chase. That is a long time. That's a long time without a 1,000-yard rusher.
I thought Kenyon Drake did it one time, but I think he got close. To like 900 something. Mm-hmm. Dirt Bike Boy saying, I'm just the man. Dirt Bike Boy, I look forward to seeing you at Gila River this weekend. Pick up your free merch. We're giving out clothes. We're giving out gear each of the next 2 shows. Plus, if you don't win, just come out. You have a chance to win a helmet, signed football, more great stuff. And you get to hang out, rub some elbows with some good people, man.
Arizona Animal wants us to just rip his shirt as an asterisk of sorts that he cheated. He was, but we didn't have any rules. There were no rules to break, so you can't cheat. Maybe we'll put those parameters. And look, was it Cardinal in there, Charles Cardinal and Dirt Bike Boy? If you're not going to be able to pick up the shirt, just let us know, and we'll come up with another trivia question for somebody that can make it out potentially, and we'll try to get you're hooked up with the shirt anyway.
We're having a great time here. Somebody asking in the chat, do I think James Conner would have gotten to 1,000 yards had he not got hurt? I do. I think he would have gotten there. I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go. And I've already gotten there once today. I'm going back Circle K. I filled up my tank. And then after the show today, I'm going to go fill up on some snacks and goodies because it's one of my fave spots here in the Valley to save money. Premium gas at not a premium price. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and more. Fan-flippantastic. Join the Inner Circle today for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details, Bo.
That's right. And if you haven't done so already, I mean, you don't have to win trivia contests to get yourself a PHNX locker t-shirt for free. Or a hat like Johnny has on right now. All you have to do is sign up to become a diehard. You get access to the diehard Discord. You can chat it up with Damon, myself, Johnny, Howard Balzer, our beat reporter, or anybody on the PHNX staff. They're in there talking about the respective beats that they cover. Gerald, Lindsay from Suns, of course. You've got Leah and Petey and Craig Morgan over covering Coyotes. You can get access to that member Discord just by becoming a diehard today. Do it at gophnx.com and get yourself some PHNX locker swag while you're at it. You got the Bird Gang Till I Die. That's what I'm repping today. Johnny's got the Bird Gang t-shirt on. It's an all-time fave of mine. Plus the hat. Find it all for yourself. phnxlocker.com. And we've got so many different things going on, including our watch party on Sunday at Gila River, I-10 Wild Horse Pass out there in Chandler. Join us on Sundays there. That's our home kind of spot to watch games for the Arizona Cardinals. And then you got the Suns takeover going on November 15th at Footprint Center. You can join that as well.
Han shot first. Johnny must have a wicked heartburn from all these snacks and Polar Pops. No, because they sell like Tums and stuff there too. My one-stop shop. Han, you better get your ass to Gila River this weekend. Han is a big supporter of the show, coming out to some tailgates. We appreciate you, my guy. Mervin, that I'm not going to say his full super chat name, $10. Thank you so much again. I bought tickets in the lower bowl. Nice. Near the 50 on our side for the Falcons game about a month ago because I come to a consensus. Week 10 was going to be the day he returned best $150 I ever spent. Hell yeah, my guy. And again, like I always felt like this was going to be the latest. So even if he came back against like the Ravens, like he's still playing against the Falcons. So hedge your bet both ways. My family's coming into town, taking my 8-year-old to the game. People are fired up about the return of Kyler Murray. Hey, Zeus, $1.99. Bo, let's bury the hatchet. Which PHNX shirt? What does that mean? Do I get?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I mean, I love the Greg Dortch t-shirt personally. I think it's legit. Can't go wrong with some of the standard PHNX logo flag shirts. So, but also biased about all the Cardinals gear that we have in there. And
why don't you show them the one you got on right now?
Yeah, I mean, this is the Bird Gang Till I Die, and can't go wrong with that. Jesus, the hatchet has been buried. We never had anything as far as a hatchet. We're all good here. Nobody takes anything too personally here in the chat. Jessica, I'll be studying up to get in on the trivia. Yep. Next opportunity is tomorrow. We'll have 2 more questions to get you free swag from PHNX. And did we mention that when you do pick up your t-shirt, you're also entered to win some signed memorabilia there on location at Gila River?
Yeah. You show up, you're part of the PHNX Cardinals tailgate watch party. You're entered. So again, even if you don't win and you want to come out and have an opportunity, do it. Because we got a lot of cool stuff to get away. So even if you feel like at the end of the week you don't win anything, you can still come out Sunday, have a great time, and pick some up. Arizona Animal. Meanwhile, Johnny wasted his car payment on Suns Lakers. Listen, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal better come play this Friday. I'm not about this non-playing life. I watched Kyler Murray be injured. I missed him all year, and now I can't go to that game, but I'm going to the Lakers Suns game, and I need to see some stars. I want to see some good players play.
Yeah.
Like this video, by the way. Let's get this to 200 likes, Bo.
Yeah, we got there yesterday. Let's do it again. RC, that's awesome. First game coming from New York City. Why not have to rep some PHNX swag while you're at it? PHNXlocker.com. You won't be alone out there. Everybody crushed it today in the chat. A few hiccups there, but I think we all got back on the right track. Everybody was so giddy with excitement.
Yeah.
We have tons more on the Twitter account at PHNX_Cardinals. from press availability today with Drew Petzing. Some more comments on utilizing Kyler Murray when he gets back in the lineup. Also got some stuff going up from Nick Rollis, the Cardinals defensive coordinator. That side of the football trending in the right direction. Maybe they can play some complimentary football this weekend with solid quarterback play.
Like and subscribe. PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Again, get this video to 200 likes for your boys. We're back on a Wednesday with some definitive, I would imagine, practice highlights from 1K1, the quarterback one, Kyler Murray, and the latest on James Conner, DJ Humphries, Will Hernandez, and more. In the meantime, like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star. Check us out at gophnx.com. For Bo Brack, thank you to Brian Baldinger. I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you on Wednesday.
We all silly like the mayor.